Okay, we're on to chapter 18. These boys have entered Mr. Reaper's laboratory. We'll see what happens. As I read, I want you to keep in mind what sort of questions pop into your head as I go through this chapter. Keep this in mind because you will have to list the questions in the discussion forum on Schoology after I'm done with the video. So, take notes. Dr. Reaper's laboratory was clearly divided into two parts. On one side, a strange-looking chemistry experiment was in progress. Lots of glass balls were linked and other via glass tubes. One of the balls was connected to what looked like a miniature volcano. Most of the volcano fumes funneled upwards in the glass ball, but from time to time, little whiffs of them leaked out. Gases poured from one glass ball to the next, eventually ending up in one large ball in the center. There was a cloud inside this last ball, and now when they saw sparks flying around. So, who wants to go with the first question? Said Dr. Reaper, so excited to have an audience. Ringo sighed. Sir? What is that? He said, pointing to the large chemistry experiment. Aha! Said Reaper, grinning and rubbing his hands together. I'm sure you remember the wonderful rotten egg stink you smelled when you entered the house. Well, do you know what it is? It's rotten eggs, said Tank, happy that he knew the answer. You really think that's the answer? Stupid child, grumbled Dr. Reaper. You'll have to try harder than that if you want to become a scientist. Think, what could it be? Such an easy answer. The boys looked at each other and shrugged. Don't know, they all said. Dear, oh dear, said Dr. Reaper. Children today, they really know nothing. It's the smell of the earth, billions of years ago, when there was no life on it. Well, how are we supposed to know that? Said Whippet. But Dr. Reaper ignored him. This isn't a real volcano, obviously, he continued, pointing to the small homemade volcano, which had smoke erupting from the crater at the top. Yeah, like, obviously, said Ringo. I mean, like, we hadn't noticed that. It's just a little chemical reaction that emits the same kind of fumes, Dr. Reaper said, seemingly unaware of how rude Ringo was being. So, I made it look a little volcano with mud from the garden. I like it very much. The fumes from the volcano puffed upward into the glass ball where they mixed with water vapor. This came from another glass ball in which water was being heated over a gas burner. When they mixed together, the fumes and vapors formed a little cloud inside the large ball. Dr. Reaper had built a device inside that cloud that produced electrical sparks. As the mini volcano puffed dark smoke upward, a little crackle of lightning shot from the cloud inside the ball. Dr. Reaper tapped the glass gently. You see, when lightning strikes clouds of gas, strange reactions occur, and scientists have discovered that these reactions can sometimes lead to the formation of the most basic chemicals that life on Earth needs. Those chemicals are called amino acids. But why? Said Whippet. Why do you want them for? Because, said Dr. Reaper, a sinister look crossing his face, I'm trying to create life itself. What a load of garbage, said Ringo, but Zit sounded more intrigued than his leader did. Sir, he said thoughtfully, there's a lot of life around us. Why would you need to make more life? There is life on this planet, said Dr. Reaper, giving him an approving look. But what about on other planets? What about other planets where life has not yet emerged? What would happen if we went there and we took life with us? Sounds a bit stupid to me, said Ringo. If we go to a new planet, there won't be anything there, so there'll be nothing to do. Oh, you unimaginative boy, said Ripper. We would be masters of the planet. It would all be ours. But hang on a minute, said Whippet, somehow suspicious. Where is this planet? And how are we going to get there? All good questions, said Dr. Reaper. Come, have a look over here. We walked over to the other side of the room, which was covered with a huge picture of space and stars. In one corner, there was a red circle around a couple of little white dots with lots of arrows pointing to it. Near the red circle was another circle drawn in green, except that the green circle seemed to be empty. Next to the map were whiteboards covered with diagrams and crazy-looking scribbles. There seemed to be some kind of link between the scribbles and the star poster. Dr. Reaper cleared his throat as the boys gathered around him. This, children, is the future, he said, waving his hands towards the crazy scribbles. Our future, I expect, he continued. You'll never have given a moment's thought to what I do when I'm not teaching at school. The group nodded, agreeing that, no, they hadn't thought about what he did out of school. So let me save you the trouble. Dr. Reaper drew himself up to his full height so he could tower over the boys. I am an expert on planets. I've worked all my life on planets trying to find a new one. Did you find any? Said Whippet. Oh, I found many, said Dr. Reaper. But what we don't know, like Mars or Saturn or Jupiter. But Don't we know them all? Said Whippet. The boys nudged each other. Ooh, whispered Tink. Who would have thought that? Whippet's trying to be a teacher's pet. No, I'm not, said Whippet. It's just interesting. Ah, said Dr. Reaper. You're right. We know all the planets that are on the star closest to us. The star that we call the sun. But I am looking for other ones. I am looking for planets that are around the stars, planets that are very far away, you see. He continued, having this class, or a few of them anyway, actually listen to what he said for a change. A planet is not an easy thing to find. I've spent many years collecting data from telescopes, and I have looked at hundreds of planets in space. Unfortunately, most of the planets we have found so far are too close to their sun, making them too hot to support life or be inhabitable. But that's not going to help then, is it? Said Whippet, sounding disappointed. Dr. Reaper pointed to his star map. But wait, he said, I haven't told you everything yet. Out there in space are extraordinary, fascinating things. Until now, we've only been able to dream about. But the time is coming when all that will change, when man will go out across the cosmos and inhabit the entire universe. Just imagine, boys, if we were the first ones to discover a new planet. That's like a TV show, said Zit, where everyone gets on a spaceship and goes to a new planet and they get eaten by green aliens. No, it's not like that at all, snapped Dr. Reaper. You must learn to distinguish between science fiction and science fact. This planet here that I have found, his finger traced the red circle drawn in the corner of the map around the white dots. This could be a new planet Earth. But it looks like this new planet is pretty far away, said Whippet doubtfully. Yes, it is, said the teacher. It's very, 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 very far away. So far away that if I had a phone conversation with someone there, I would need to wait several years between the time I asked a question and the time they would reply, just because of the time it would take my question to travel there and travel back again. Did you talk with them on the phone? Said the four kids. No, said Dr. Reaper in a super annoyed voice. I said if. Ugh, don't you understand anything? But is there anyone out there? Zit persisted, hopping from foot to foot in excitement. Well, it's hard to tell, said Dr. Reaper, so I need to get out there and have a look. How are you going to do that? Said Ringo, who was feeling interested in spite of the fact he hated Dr. Reaper. Dr. Reaper gazed into the distance over their heads. I've been trying all my life to get into outer space, he said. Once I nearly made it, but someone stopped me, and I've never been able to forgive them. It was the greatest disappointment of my life, and ever since then, I've been looking for a way. And now I've got another chance. That's where you boys come in. Dr. Reaper reached for the letter in his pocket. Here is the letter that we spoke about. Take it to George's friend. His name is Eric. Drop it in his mailbox and make sure no one sees you, said the teacher as he handed the letter over to Ringo. What's in it? Information, said Dr. Reaper. Information is power, boys. Always remember that. Facing his star map and pointing it with his burned hands towards the red circle drawn around the bright dots, he said, and the information contained in this letter is the space location of this amazing new planet, Earth number 2. Whippet opened his mouth to speak, but Dr. Reaper interrupted him. Drop the letter off tonight, he said, cutting short any questions, and now it's time for you to go, he said, hurrying them out in the hallway. But what about the cash? When do we get our money? Well, come see me on Monday at school, said Dr. Reaper. If you've succeeded and delivered the letter, I will pay you handsomely. Now go.